Alright, how's it going, guys? So, when I left you guys off last time, we had just gotten our titanium tetrachloride here, and I have gone ahead and ran the fuel lines in here, so all we have to do is turn them on when we need to. And I have also processed up more magnesium, which we're going to need in here. I only have 11. I need an even amount. So I need to get another one for that. Which, speaking of, I want to double check that this did get done, which it did. I did take the mixer out from over there because we're going to need it over here today. We're going to be setting up 2 of these. And I will explain why in a minute. Let's see. I think we're going to do it basically like this, I do believe. But the first thing we need to do is set up what we have downstairs, which I have already started on setting up. So it's all good and ready for us here. So what we have here is a steam cracker and a boiler. It's already set up for fuel. I still have to run the water line yet. But I wanted to get in here and explain to you why we're using, first off, the steam cracker, because there are 2 different cracking machines. There is a steam cracker and there is a catalytic cracker. And I went over this in the live stream that we did on Sunday, but I will give you a short brief on it here. So the catalytic cracker does not use steam. It uses hydrogen, and it uses platinum as a catalyst. It does not get used up, and you can use either petrol, fuel, or ethanol. If you're trying to go all bio, ethanol would probably be the way to go, and you would use the catalytic. I have plenty of oil. I'm going to be processing tons of it. I don't need to worry about going completely bio for plastic. Also, the catalytic requires zeolite, which can be a little bit challenging to find. I do have some, but I've always preferred to go with the steam cracking because, one, it doesn't use hydrogen. Hydrogen is important for tungsten processing, and we can use it for fuel. And so, in my opinion, using it here is a waste. Here we can actually use butane and propane, which is something that I will, at least early on, not really be using a lot. I'll be using more of the fuels than the gases. We'll end up using these once we set up a big steam turbine or gas turbine. But for right now, these are just kind of a byproduct. So I like using them. Also, if you go back and check out the live stream, you'll see where I ran the numbers and the amount of ethylene and propylene that you get out of 100 propane versus 100 fuel plus 100 hydrogen. You know, right here you get 40 and 10. That's only 50. You get 42 and 19 out of just 100 propane. You get 78 and 3 out of butane. So you want to use butane because you're going to get more out of it. You're going to get less of the propylene, but you really don't need both of them. Either one will work. So if we look here at the mixer, we can just do ethylene and make our plastic that way. We can use the propylene as well, and that's why we have two mixers set up there, is we're going to run both of them, one to each mixer. That way we're not wasting anything. One of them will just run a lot more than the other. The only issue with that being that we do have to have a boiler for steam. But as you've seen with this setup over here, it's really easy to control so it don't blow up. We just need a gibbelometer and a piston and a little bit of red alloy wire, and we can turn it off. And because we're using the lead and Invar setup here, it's going to create a little bit of steam, not a whole lot at one time. So all we're going to do here is hook this up directly like that, and that will supply our steam into our steam cracker. Now, the steam cracker, if I click on here and we go here, the steam cracker will take fluids in the top or the left. The left is pulled in automatically, and then our fluids will come out on the right or the back, but the right is going to be the automatic out. So we're going to put our steam in through the side. We're going to put our butane in through the top. And for this current setup, we're just going to get a drum of butane, which I was wrong in the last one. Speaking of me being wrong, I have something I need to show you. I was actually backwards on the pipes when I said I thought it was missing a, let's see. That's propane, that's lubricant. This is butane. All right, that's what we want. I was actually wrong on the tooltip for the pipes and them burning you. It's actually, if they will burn you, they tell you. If they won't burn you, they won't tell you. So if we go and look at pipes here, and if we look at the aluminum, it says nothing about burning you. Same if we look at the Invar. And I noticed, same if we look at Efren. But if you look at copper, bronze, steel, any of them, it does have a red message that says causes damage when touched while active. I'm not quite sure why it says active. It's always said that. I've always found that a little strange because even if the pipes aren't flowing, they're still going to burn you if there is hot contents inside the pipe. So it's not really if they're active. It's if there's hot shit in the pipe, that's going to burn you. So it's not that it says it won't burn you, it's that the other ones say they will. I talked to Greg about it. He pointed out where my flaw was there. Okay, so we have our butane right here, which gave us our quest here for butane. Give me my cookie. And the next thing is the steam cracker. I'm not sure why it wants a pressure valve. I will not be making a pressure valve for this. I don't need a pressure valve for this. But let's go ahead and pick this up so we can get that part of it done. I will ask Chubby about the whole pressure valve thing. I'm guessing, good idea if you haven't made one yet, so get one too. I'm guessing maybe this is for you to use for the steam, but I've never used one. Well, let's go ahead and put our butane there, which will put it in there. And now I need to run our pipe for our water, which we have distilled water here. So I'm just going to run it down and over there. Another thing we need to do is we have all of this ilmenite and rutile in here. We need to get this piped up to the shredder. So I'm going to do that real quick so we have the rutile we're going to need. And get the distilled water pipe ran to our boiler. And then we can continue on our setup here. So I will be right back. All right, so I got the water line ran. So we're going to go ahead and turn on the boiler here. And as it says in the book, it only holds 2,000. So we don't want to run the boiler for very long. But we do want to get a little excess pressure built up in it. We are going to need a nanopole pipe because we're going to have 4 different fluids coming out of here. So while that starts heating up, I do this quite quickly so we don't blow everything up. I'm going to make all of these for right now into nanopole pipes, and then we will run these where we need them. So first off, we're going to use a drum, because coming out of here for the butane, we're going to have hydrogen, methane, propylene, and ethylene. The methane we're not going to get enough of to worry about. So for that, we're going to use a drum. And we're technically going to need to use a drum for all of these because we have to set up filters. But the first one is going to be methane, and it's going to go right there. At least that's the first one we're going to worry about. It's probably not going to be the first one that comes out. All right, so as soon as that gets up to pressure, we're going to go ahead and start this as soon as it gets a little bit of steam in there. There we go. So now we can kick that on, and you'll see it's going to hit 2,000, go down, go back up. This will start to overpressure here in a bit. We can negate that by using a better burning box. See, there we go. We're starting to overpressure. So we're going to go ahead and shut that off and let this run what it can from what we have. I will probably at some point change this over to a dense invar. See, now we're completely out of steam, but that is fine because we're going to go ahead and shut it off. We've ran enough for what we need at the moment. One thing that's really nice that I will probably do rather than setting up a piston shutoff and igniter for this is I will use a heater. I did that back on the old server, and it worked great. It works the same way with the gibbelometer. As soon as this thing gets to where it's building up pressure. It'll turn off the heater, and then when it's low, it'll turn it back on. So it'll always have pressure. And it's a really nice way of doing it. We just got to get to electricity for that. But right now we're not making mass amounts of circuits, so we don't really need mass amounts of plastic at the moment. All right, so we have 5 drums here. We need 4 of them. So there's our first one. That is our hydrogen. And then this one, which is our methane, which this one, we're just going to sit right there. And then this one should be our ethylene. This is the main one that we actually want. And then finally, our propylene. So that's our last one. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to put a non-movable pipe there. And we have our fluid filters. And we're going to have this one go right here on the bottom. And we're going to set this for not hydrogen, not propylene. Oh, duh. I put it down. Methane. All right, so all of our methane will go into that drum. Now we need to run this up, and then we need to go and look at where that actually comes out at. All right, so our mixers are over there. So I can either run this pipe over there, or what I'm actually going to do, do I want to do... Yeah, it'll be cheaper on pipes, and it's fine for them to be over here, so we're just going to move these over. All right, and the mixers are going to take fluids in from either the top or the left. So what we want to do here is set one up on either side of this pipe, just like that. And then this is the face, so that is the left. So we want to turn this one backwards. So then we're going to get both of our fluids in right here on this side. And then our items will come out on either side here. And then we're going to have our titanium tetrafluoride, or titanium tetrachloride will come in through the top. So we're going to run this pipe on up like this. And we want one of these for propylene. And we want one of these for ethylene. So we're going to do that and that. Click one there, click one there. All right, so now once we open these pipes up like this and like that, we should get what'd I do? Oh, it's because I put all of it into here. So let's actually open the pipe on the top here so we can see them going in the right place. There's our propylene. That should now be empty. And then we need the ethylene, which, there it is. Put that on the top. That'll come into this one. And now it will be empty. All right, so now we can run them and they'll all go in. And then we want one last one up here on the very top. And that will be for our hydrogen. There we go. And that will run our hydrogen up and we'll connect it to our hydrogen line that runs to the tank. All right. So now we'll focus both of those down. I need to run our fuel line over here, which will need to connect up there. But now we need to get our titanium tetrachloride. Keep trying to say fluoride for some reason. We need to get this in here. So we're going to go like this. And I'm actually going to do this. We're going to have... I don't have a small pipe. Just take this. This one we're going to put here. And we'll have it come over one and then up. So then we can come up here and run this right across. This is why we don't put the fluids in, because I'm going to mess it up. There we go. And then we can just take our, I just used it for a step stool. I don't have my scaffold on me, so we're going to have to do it this way. So we're going to place this up here. We will hook this pipe up to the regular thing eventually when we automate this. But there we go. That will come down. And we now have our titanium tetrachloride in here, which luckily it only holds 1,000 in it. So we don't have to worry about it sucking up all of it. Now we need to get our output done. And for that, we're going to use one of these barrels. And we're going to make a brass pipe that will actually connect them. And this will actually sit basically right here. And I'll run a brass pipe from there to there and from there to there. And that'll make our plastic. So give me a minute. Let me run the fuel and we will make our first plastic. All right. So I got the fuel lines hooked up. I got the pipes hooked up. So now if we turn this on and we'll go ahead and, do we have enough for this one? No, we don't have enough for that one. So now these, once we put in our crap, I need that magnesium chloride, and I turned it all down. Oops. That's a problem. So I need to make some more because I don't have our catalyst that I specifically said we needed to have. So give me a minute. Let me get it. All right. Just a second for you. A couple minutes for me because I had to make a mixer. But I now have 9 more magnesium chloride. One of them is going to be useless. I'm going to throw the other 6 in here to get us some more magnesium. But the important part is we now have 1 for here and 1 for here. Ignore the fact that that's missing. We're not going to be running it anyways. Now I can turn that on. Why did that not turn on? Well, it's going the wrong direction. That's why. All right, and there we go. We are now making plastic. And we can turn that back off. And there is our first 10 plastic pulp. And the other one will work exactly the same. And now whenever we need some more plastic, all we have to do is go downstairs and run the cracking unit. Now, 10 is going to be enough for us to do 10 circuits. That is the reason why we made this plastic. Because if we look at plastic here in the extruder, we will make not fine. I need a regular. Where in the world is the regular plate? That's a rod. I don't need a rod. We can make pipes out of it. That's a rod. There it is, plastic sheet. So we can extrude those. That goes in the low heat extruder. And then in a press, we need to mix that with N sand. I have no idea what that is. Sunny quartz, basically silicon dioxide. So all of the quartz that we have up there is what we're going to use to make our circuit plates. So this is the first part of our circuits done. Each one of these plastics will make us one circuit board. So now we need to get a press made. But before we get into that, I want to finish up our titanium setup here. So coming out of here is just going to be the titanium tetrachloride and CO2 gas. So again, we're going to have to separate those. That's why I had the extra 2 filters here. So we're going to put this on here, which will have CO2 in it. And we're going to run one filter on this side. And then the other one is going to go out the bottom. And we can go ahead and grab this. And that is going to set the one for that side, which is the titanium tetrachloride. And that needs to run into this here. I did shut this off, right? Yes. Okay. So now we need to run this pipe over to this bath. And this bath is going to, if we look up titanium again, and we look at the dust in the bath, we're going to have no fluid coming out. We're going to have items going in and out and a fluid coming in. So our magnesium, if I get this out of the way, our magnesium is going to be coming through there. We want to turn this around that direction. So that's going to be our input. So we'll run our pipe just like this. That will take the magnesium that we get out of there and run it into here. And then we need to run our fluid pipe over. And this will bring our titanium tetrachloride in the top. And then out this side, we're going to have 2 different things. We're going to have our titanium, and we're going to have our magnesium that needs to go, our magnesium chloride that needs to go into the smelter. Now, both of them can go in there, but we don't want them both in there. We only want the magnesium chloride in there. So for this one, we are going to use a item filter just to make sure that we don't get anything where we don't want it. So let me grab 4 of these. And I also need to grab this. It's way easier doing it with this. Throw that in there. It has everything it needs. Oh, the hammer's in there. Forgot I left the hammer in there. Put that back where it needs to go. Okay, so now we want this. And we're going to go stick this on the pipe leading into the smelter. For item pipes, they have to be on the start or the end of the pipe. So we're going to put it right there. And we're going to smack that with that. And that will tell it that only that can go in there. And for right now, we're going to put a drum right here. We're going to open that bad boy up. And yeah, that's not going to go through because the filter's on there. I need to do this first. There we go. There's our CO2. Now we can close that. We can set that to carbon dioxide. Put it down there. And now if we turn this on and give it a light, there we go. That will start making our titanium tetrachloride, which will end up over here where our magnesium is. There it is. And now when it gets the full 5, it'll start running. This will actually turn off because it doesn't have enough chlorine at the moment. We're only going to be able to run 1 batch at the moment. And now that will output. You'll see that it cannot output the titanium because it has no place to put it. That is now stuck in the pipe here. So let me... Do I have one? Oh, I have a chest on me. There we go. And for right now, we're just going to set this one off of that pipe. I'm going to eventually make another item pipe. But if I put it here, or another item filter, there's our first titanium. And see, these are going to go, those should not be able to go in, or they should not be going in there. They should be going in there. Is that pipe on the wrong side? Yes, that's the output side. That's why it's going in there. It needs to go in the top. Okay. So where is my... There it is. We need to change this to there. And then we can run this up like that. Which means I can move this one. Let's go ahead and... So we can see this actually work. Turn that on. Give me those. We'll stick them in here. We don't want that oddball one. And then we will turn that back on. I can break this, which will give me my quest for titanium. And we can go ahead and shut that off now for the moment. And we're going to do... That is not where I wanted that. I want it there. And then we're going to put the chest on top of there with our titanium in it. We can use one of those restrictor pipes as well, but I'll just use an item filter to make sure that we get titanium in there. But now we should have enough chlorine, which we do. So if we light this again, it can run again. This will continue to run the magnesium chloride to get us more, which we're not really worried about getting more at this point. That is now running again, which will end up putting the magnesium chloride now in here. And we should end up with more titanium up there. And you can see the chlorine's coming in kind of slow. So when this gets all done running, I will see how much actual chlorine we have in there and probably add some from our tank outside. There we go. We got our third titanium up there and 6 more in here. So there you go. There is our titanium setup as we can do it at the moment until we get circuits to turn everything on and off and an igniter to light this. So we will come and revisit this when we get circuits to automate this on and off. And then once we get an igniter, we can turn these on and off as well. And this one when we need to, but it doesn't use a whole lot of the calcite. But we now have titanium, which, by the way, anybody that doesn't already know, there is a titanium gold that is 5120 durability, quality 4, and speed 12. So really good for pickaxes and other tools. It does have smite 3, sharpness 3 on it, so it's pretty good against most things if you want to use it for like an axe or a sword or something. I usually use it for a pickaxe. It doesn't have fortunes, so you don't want to use it for ores, but for just general mining, it's pretty good for that and makes a good weapon as well, because our red steel is 1000. It's 10 to 40. So this is better. And it's quality 4, where this is only quality 2. Also, we can use it as a replacement for our wrench that we've been using that is ultimate. We can use titanium gold. And by the way, mixing it with gold makes it, a higher quality, higher speed, and higher durability than just the titanium by itself. So that's why you do the titanium gold. And it's 3 titanium, 1 gold, gives you 4 titanium gold. So it's a nice early tier 4 pickaxe. Not early, but decently early. All right, so that's plastic and titanium done until we can automate it properly. But that's it for today. Next time we will get a crystallization crucible set up so we can start making our buells so we can continue on our circuits. I will see you guys next time.